Check, check.
Yeah.
Probably too loud. I need to step back a little bit. I would step back. I need to sit back. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, you know what it is. It's Words Illah, a.k.a. Drew Skills, a.k.a. Ill doing it too. And this is the Words Illah Podcast with, of course, you know who the co-host is.
Hey, it's me. I hope I didn't steal that. I just...
No, you got it. You good. DeBaker.
Yeah, but it's me, man. DeBaker, man. DB Ill. Whatever you know me by, man.
Yeah.
Ill doing it 3. I'm here. Words Illah Podcast. What's good? We
live, baby. We live. So we've been trying to figure out like a format somewhat in some way, if there can even be one in this sort of thing that we're doing. Because we bounce around a lot and just try to put things together at the end. And but yeah, kind of like how life is. But you just take it as it comes. But for this, we're gonna start out. We just want to know for each other. So I'm gonna start out. I'm gonna send it to you first.
What's up?
Oh, well, I mean, what you been up to, man, since the last pod? The last pod was what was it again? Oh, Own You pod.
Own You.
302. Own You. So since then, what you been up to, man?
You know, a lot of family time.
Right, no doubt.
Of course. That's like my second job.
Oh, of course, that's like really the
first
only,
job.
The only job,
that's the
really.
only job. Take care of home.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean, but other than that, taking care of myself, man. I had a scare.
Ooh,
yeah, man.
Oh shit, we about to get juicy on the Words Illah Podcast.
Man, word up, man.
Shit.
I had to go to the doctor, man.
That can't be good.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it could be.
All right, you know. Fuck it, I say it. You know, I had some testicular pain.
Oh,
you know
no!
So
damn.
Yeah, it scared me. So I went to the doctor. I got some antibiotics. I don't know. He said it something like epididid something. Epidid something. Go ahead, Google the shit.
Just find an emotion.
So
anyway, go ahead.
I'm fucking taking antibiotics. He gave me some ibuprofen. We're gonna see what happens. If I gotta go back, then I'm probably going to a specialist. Cause I don't know.
Well, I mean, you did have the snip, so I mean, that's probably something that's probably something that has to do with that. I would imagine.
Yeah,
there could be something with that.
Yeah,
who knows? It's a complicated thing, right? It's a complicated thing. Yeah, let's get off the topic of your
anyway,
issue.
But that's been my week, man. Since like Monday, I've been going through this shit. So
damn, man.
Just went to the doctor today.
Life is real, man.
So boom,
comes at you fast.
But anyway, how about yourself, man? What's been up with you since the last pod?
Man, you know me. I don't got nothing to do really. Put out the podcast. Been trying to promote that, market that, so to speak. Thinking of new ideas, like I said, for the shop that I want to open up soon. I was like trying to go through some different texts and things I want to use maybe. And so
what kind of shop? I'm sorry for the listeners.
Sort of similar to, if you know anything about what drop shipping is, and creating a store through Shopify. And shouts out to Be Divine, shouts out to Christina.
Hey,
y'all go check out Be Divine Collections, spelled just like that. BeDivineCollections.com. She got a bunch of dope stuff, man. I bought masks. She had a 3-pack for $20. I know you bought a shirt, right?
I did. I did
couple
buy
of
a shirt. I bought one shirt.
Okay.
It says, "My blackness is not a trend."
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
fire.
Yeah, I thought it was.
So yeah,
powerful.
plug. Yo, go holla at sis, man. She'll get you right.
Super dope.
But yeah, aside from that, man, that's what I'm trying to do. Something like in that realm.
Yeah,
as far
tight, man. I tried my hand in it.
You could always do something, and it's the possibilities are endless, and that's why it's so hard, because I'm trying to nail down a specific thing about what I want this to really be, so I'm not getting too far off track with too many different things and trying to put too many things going on at once. Try to narrow it down, but also give myself enough room to be able to expand and have new products and new things come through there.
It's definitely a good thing. I think if you know what you're doing,
and that's why I said it's a lot of information out here. Going on YouTube a lot, typing in certain keywords, about things. You can usually find somebody who's done something on that aspect of it, and then you can do the rest on your own. Just figure it out over doing things on your own. But God, there's a lot of information, and there's so many different systems that people have created in terms of how to like drive traffic to your page and whatnot. But you know, some of it is just will, you know what I'm saying, and drive, and just you know, having the foresight to and the insight to watch people and to see trends and to pay attention to things and be able to like know where somebody might be better than you at, and so you can kind of use that, you know. So yeah, it's a process, man, but it's fun, you know what I'm saying? Word. To know like, yo, you can start your own thing, your own brand of some sort, whatever, and selling multiple different products with certain things on it that represent something, you know what I mean? And the market is wide open, and a big part of it is you know, knowing that your customers, like, without them there's nothing that you can do. So you got to be that go-getter who's like on top of it, you know. Every time you make a sale, you know, you're thanking that person enormously, you know, you're giving them tips and you're giving them, you know, discounts and things of that nature. You know, it's a grind, which I you know, I feel like everybody has to, somewhere in their life, we've got to start clicking that, like we were talking about in the past pod. Yo, you got to click that thing on. That's like, yo, whatever you can do, figure out something that you can own on your own. Like, give yourself the openness to try something, you know what I mean? And not just try it, be studied in it, you know what I'm saying? Have done enough looking into it, and maybe you're not a master yet, but so what? Get in it, you know what I'm saying? And
fuck up. You're gonna have to fuck up to learn what not to do. You know,
exactly.
Some things you have to experience on your own. So yeah,
it's very true, man. I think it's harder when we are seeing what we're living in right now, and it seems like even through this, you know, we're still being lulled back into a lot of habits that you know, are just gonna continue on the same things, you know. Like, in these hard times, I think is where we should be able to find ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And not to mean that, like, you know, anybody should be expected to work at somebody else's determined pace. Like, you have to make your life this way, and in this time frame you have to do these things. Like, nah, but in this stuff that we're dealing with, like, this should be where you're starting to hone those skills of like taking what's happening to you and not being like a victim of it, and trying to find ways to like, nah, fuck that, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get it, I gotta make something happen, like, cause those times are gonna come. It's inevitable, you know, where things might be a little tight or a little rough, or you might have to go through a testicular situation of some sort, and not know what to do, but have to just give into it and be like, yo, it is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and like lose sleep over it and try to go crazy, try to control the situation. I have to, I gotta live with whatever's going on, and I gotta learn to adapt to things, you know what I'm saying? And
that's the thing, is adapting. A lot of people either, I don't know, man, I've seen people fold under pressure, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Like,
I think all of us have, at some point. Of
course, I have. I know I have. Yeah. I was gonna say I probably have, but I know I have. I've folded before.
Yeah, for real. I know it too. Know? We all have, especially at an age when you're unaware of it, you know, a lot. Like, you can't really pick apart all of your little nuances that you have, that you probably, where you're sabotaging yourself almost, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't pinpoint a lot of the reasons behind it, you know what I'm saying? It takes time, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like you said, those times are supposed to be the times where you can utilize that moment, because now it's a memory that you can use as a driving force to be like, yo, I don't want to be that again, or I don't want to see that situation again, or I don't want to be like, and so then you know the course of actions you took that got you there. So now you're like, okay, so I know what happens if I do that. Yeah, that means don't.
That's how I look at what we call losses. Or L's. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at them as losses. Like we've heard in verses from people, you know, like Royce, and we don't look at them as losses. We look at them as lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Take these things as things to learn from, and, you know, teachable moments, and then you move forward accordingly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I said, no losses, just lessons. Proceed with caution.
Losses. Word.
Prepare for infinite blessings. You know, that's
Hey,
that was from the track. You know what I'm saying? From the joint with me and Steve B.
Yeah,
you gotta serve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Give it to him.
That was a lie. That was a lie. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. These are the idea. These aren't new ideas. That's again, like we talk about this, and we mentioned it at some point. I think in the first episode or something. It's like this is common because the world is what the world is, and because it is, these things have been the same, and it seems like it's more and more each day. It's just that's passing by. It's like, yo, not the rules, but sort of the cheat codes, if you will. The veil has been lifted, and we all have access to it now, especially with the internet. We can get a lot of this information.
Age is what they call it.
And and we're now not utilizing it the right way, i.e., let's talk about the fucking what the fuck was that shit, that docuseries or that documentary thing?
What was that shit called? The
Social Dilemma.
The Social Dilemma.
On Netflix. This shit is wild.
Yeah.
You know, and it's with all the big wigs, so to speak, or not all, but a big wigs. Big portion of people who were involved in a lot of how social media operates.
Mm-hmm. The
what
inception
it does.
of.
Yeah, and what it really does.
And by them, did it, like, before we get into it, like, because when I saw a lot of their names, it would say former president or former VP or former this or former that. Yeah. Like, do you think that they stepped down because they saw the monster that was... I'm sure
that's the story they're going to say.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine.
I mean, they kind of did.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they said in one way or another. You know, they all kind of based their decisions and what they were doing. And the reason why they were even there to talk was like, you know, I had finally came to the light, like type deal. Yeah. Like I saw.
We can't have this continue, otherwise, the whole earth is gonna.
Yeah, like I said, to me, I'm partly cynical and I'm partly, you know what I'm saying, maniacal in some ways too, I guess you could say. But that's beyond the point. Is like I don't believe it sometimes. Like I look at people, like I said, I look at like. Again, you caused a lot of the reasons why things are what they are. Now you want me to like have empathy or like be like, yeah, he's fighting for good now. It's like, I honestly don't believe it, because now you're even still getting the same press, the same look, the same money, the same opportunity, the same. So it's like there's a level of like, there's not a level. This is a lot of privilege that these guys are wielding, that they can do these things and be these people and say these things. It's like, yo, do you realize what you're saying? Like, these guys are out here openly. It's almost like a bragging moment for them to like, haha, we fucked everybody up, even ourselves. Now we gonna fix it.
Yeah.
Word, you gonna fix it?
By adding more of the problem to it. Like, that's how they want to fix it, by adding more. But anyway, let's you know,
the show is so wild, yo.
For those who, let's spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it already, don't listen now. Well, still listen, because I'm not gonna say it right. I know I'm not.
Yeah, no.
I don't remember all of it. I just know the main object was like they kept cutting in between scenes of them interviewing or having discussions with these head guys from all these big social media companies that were either presidents or helped design different elements of the algorithms or some element of how social media works and operates and all of that. And also having these clips of like almost like a mini movie, like, you know, of this family and how they're dysfunction because of the phone and how they're also attached to it. And in between that, there would be moments where they were specifically focusing on the young boy that was using the phone all the time and having problems with girls, because he was like probably a preteen or maybe like a teen and like early teen. And so it was showing like this like group of like this guy that it's three of him. It's these three guys, but it's really just one guy and these three different people, and they're all like acting like they're at like some system, like with these boards that they're using to like try to influence him to like keep using his phone. You know. So again, and it cuts back to like interview pieces, and these guys are just talking a lot about social media and what it does,
how they did it, what it does, the driving point, and that they can't control it. Once it goes, that's it.
And you're feeding yourself the same ideas, and you're reinforcing a bias, and you're confirming more, and then you're also being bamboozled and manipulated into having views of things that maybe you don't, because I've said this, and I've said it in lines recently. I was just writing the other day and said something about how, like, you know, the way that they use doublespeak is how they sneak in their spells. Mm-hmm. You know, it's how they use certain words in certain ways, and how they can make you feel like they're saying one thing when they're really saying something else. Mm-hmm. But because the words may be so similar, or because the words are worded in a certain way, it's just the same way, like true and false, like that line that Lupe said. Lupe Fiasco said that it's like true and false. Like the truth could still be a lie, like true and false. Yeah. Because if the way the true and false question is worded, it could be asking you to tell them that this is this a lie. So then, what are you saying? So it's like this way of using your brain against you is no new thing. Word. You know, this is how all marketing and everything has been done for years. Mm-hmm. They know that there's certain colors, certain smells, certain things that just drive the human mind and make it act or do and it release certain chemicals. You know what I'm saying? So again, what was the line that we both said before? It was like, that was like, yo, that shit just took me once I heard it. It was like, yo, when you don't know a company's product, that means that you're the product.
You're the product. You're getting it for free. You're not paying anything for the service. That means you're the fucking service. You're the product. You're what they're after.
Mm-hmm. Your time, your energy. I said another line like that in a track that's going to be on the next project. I said something about like, oh, we all just, you know what I'm saying, you know, just like an energy source for some kind of bigger entity of some sort, or some kind of being that's of more advancement than us or something. Like, who knows? Because the way that these systems are, it's a deeper thing that I don't want to go down to the rabbit hole into really, because there's things I've watched and seen and heard from other people, and there's an idea around a lot of what we've seen in modern human history, and that we're really living in a Saturn, you know what I'm saying, worshiping system that's just the base. That's why you see a lot of black cubes. That's why there's... All right, I'm not going to go down that line. We're not going down... I could go down that line. I don't want to go down that line, because then again, that's how that thing was telling to that show was like, yo, you could feed lies and the system's going to spread it. You know, social media, Facebook especially, they said, especially with the Pizzagate situation, which I don't know if there's all lies in that. There might be some truth in that. Maybe not the Pizzagate itself, but the elements behind what the Pizzagate was about, pedophilia rings and all that. That could be, there's some truth to that, but not just in the way that it happened though. But they used this one situation and they amped it up. You know, Facebook amped it up because it became such a big thing. It was shared in so many places that the system picked it up. Facebook picked it up, and the algorithm started spewing it back out to people at high rates. So then it just started catching to where a guy actually tried to go to this pizza place and tried to kill people, said he was trying to find out who was doing this pedophile ring. But again, there's a lot of other stuff we saw before that. Remember the Wayfair shit we saw. So it's like there's ways that they're spreading lies, and it could be truth, but they could be spreading the lie that is the truth. That is a lie, and like it's so many layers to what's going on with information. It's like the system doesn't care though.
The system has no feelings.
It's emotionless. This thing just goes.
It's artificial intelligence.
You know,
that's what they say. It's like mildly monitored. There's not a lot of people.
There's not a lot of regulation.
Not a lot of regulation.
Elon Musk talked about this early on. He went to, before Obama was in office, I think, and when Obama got in office, he was like one of the first sort of like people to ever go to the White House to discuss anything about artificial intelligence and the dangers of it and what needed to be understood, and how we needed to now go ahead now and start implementing regulations and things because it's coming. You know, people are working on this. People are putting more time into this thing, and they're doing more with it, and it's going to get more advanced, and we're not going to be able to do much about many things. It's going to be a system that could self-sustain itself, and it would just operate without being told to, you know, because it would start to figure, like our brains do, that it just wants to solve things. It just goes. Your brain, again, they're hacking your brain, but your brain also is hacking you all the time. It's always acting out and doing things. Again, that shit that you were telling me about, that clip that you saw, that you heard, that I told you about, the dude, Dr. Lipton, talking about how we live most of our life out of our subconscious, and how you don't even see it. 90% of your shit that you're doing, you can't tell, because and that's why it's very important to be very clear about what you're putting into your body, what you're not just this. Indeed. Food is important, don't get me wrong, but I'm not as crazy about going super over the top vegan, only eating raw foods and stuff, getting that strict with it. Like, that's cool, that could be good to cleanse from time to time, but overall, be mindful about what you're putting in your mind and what you're seeing and ingesting in that way. Because again, there's a lot of stuff that we weren't built to have this much information coming at us this fast, this often. Like it's not. Our brains are good, but it's not meant. Again, we're easily hackable. You know what I'm saying? Our brains have fail safes that are good to keep us moving, like autonomous. So our bodies just act out certain things. We just breathe just because. You can fall asleep and you keep breathing. Like your heart keeps beating. Like you don't have to think about that. So, but there's elements that's not good for, and that's why we're that whole docu-series or whatever that thing was. It's just a light on a problem that's been around that we've known about, or some people knew about, and that if it was taken seriously enough, it probably could have gotten out to more people faster, and we could have started to mitigate how often people are involving themselves and taking in this internet, this social media, what I'm saying, in general, and the multiple social medias, you know what I'm saying? Being on 5-6 platforms and checking them all day long, all of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of time you're burning up, and it's so unnecessary, You're literally going to miss nothing if you do not get on it all the time. Oh,
that brought me to that part, remember when the mom, it was on one of those cut scenes there, and like they showed the movie, and the mom decided to put all the phones in the timer case, the time case. It was a time lock, like capsule shit. And the one daughter, she couldn't take it, and she went and broke that shit and snatched her phone out. That part, and then what the information they went into after that, man, that hit home for me because I have kids, you know what I'm saying? I have an 8-year-old who wants to be on social media and shit, and I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Nah, especially no after this. Like, there was no before, but especially no after I saw this, and
I'm more well equipped to understand what this is.
Like, they're forcing themselves to, you know what I'm saying, to adhere to these false standards of beauty and appearance, and then the likes, they're fishing for likes, and if they don't get the likes, then they feel bad about themselves. Like, it's disgusting. It's not meant for developing brains.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
In no way, shape, or form.
No, it's not. Way, shape, or form, because the algorithm doesn't care. That you're a kid and you feel bad because
didn't the docu-series or whatever say again about something like how there's been like a rise in autistic kids or something like that, or like or there's been like
it was a rise in suicides.
Okay, because I'm sorry, I misspoke. But I knew that they've started to like tell you that there's been clear connections between a lot of things that have happened a lot more with children or just younger kids. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, young girls, and like how the spike in certain things in young girls, especially like suicides and a lot like that. It's sick. It's depressing. It can't be undermined at all. And that's why I think that the flip side of that to be grown here, if we can all be grown here, is like, again, it's why it's important. Why the people like I think I've brought him up at some point, Gary V. People like him who are like very clear on like, parents, your job is to instill the confidence in these children so they do not have to worry about all these opinions that are coming at them.
Indeed.
That they don't have to feel so bogged down and care about whether or not they're cool or not, or whether or not people deem them to be whatever, or they're not attached to these opinions of all these people who don't know them, who aren't around them, who don't love them, who don't, know who they really are. Like, it's extremely important that we have that balance of like, okay, yes, mitigate what the children are doing and and let them know that there's certain things that they shouldn't be involved in just because you're not you're just too young.
Not ready.
Just let me help you. Just let me help you. Just don't do this for a while. Trust me. But then once they do get involved, to also allow them to understand like, those people are not your family. They don't love you. They don't know you. They don't care about you. Understand that. They can be your friends. You can know these people. But do never in your life take what they say to you as being any more important than what you say to you. Ever. Ever. Never. Anything they would ever have to say about you. I don't care how right they could be. Do not take their opinion as being the right thing, that who you are. Ever. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how you gotta always be letting these kids know, man, because they got a lot of influences around them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're around a lot of other people besides family members and stuff. Indeed. A lot more of their time. You know what I'm saying? Especially as they get older. So it's like, it's important that they know, you're never not important or not valued just because somebody doesn't like you or somebody said something about you or because whatever. You're never not who you are. Like, you're always going to be who you are, and you're always going to be enough. So you don't have to worry about somebody who may start saying bad things about you. They're probably just angry at themselves or something. I don't know, but don't listen to that shit. Like, I don't know. Again, I guess it's just over time. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's good, like, early on, because these kids get privy to something early on. You know, they'll be off to the races.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And then what? You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It's that shit is it was a very, very powerful piece. You know what I'm saying? Man. And
The Social Dilemma on Netflix.
Definitely a must watch, because it's very and I mean, of course, there's like a part of me that's again like cynical, that's like, very good timing, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the opportunist, and I feel like in them made them do a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? Indeed. And their brains are different, and they've changed because of all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they're just as a part of the problem, and they're, you know, maybe attempting to make things better, but it's like these systems are now like, they're running their course. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're off to the races. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of money involved now.
Yeah. You're not just going to shut it down.
Right. It's like, okay, so we're going to dial it back? What?
They said something about the shareholders. You're going to piss off a lot of, allegedly.
Allegedly,
but,
right.
You know, but
maybe there's something bigger that's coming anyway, so it doesn't matter that they're going to maybe start losing. So that's why I said, like, who knows, man? A lot of stuff now is like, it's too hard to tell, man, because it seems like, again, like, wow, you know, great timing, guys. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like everything that's going on in the world, and everybody's kind of in the house, and everybody's probably using.
You know, shit gets crazy around these times, man.
Oh,
election times,
of course.
You know,
definitely.
Shit just gets weird.
Everybody's weird, man. This whole thing, like you said, I feel like more and more this shit is just like it's a dream, yo. Like, this is like some kind of scripted sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? But not really just that it's a scripted thing, that it's you writing it. You know what I'm saying? And that everybody's writing it. Yeah. You know, but you're the one that's making it all happen. Mm-hmm. Without you, none of it's happening. Yeah, and the more you tell yourself that, the more you start to hack yourself again, like you said, because you know how your brain works. If I tell myself something enough, if I keep pushing it into my head enough, if I keep thinking it a lot, it starts to kind of almost come to me. Like, I don't even really have to work for it. A lot of it just becomes like I see it more often, almost like, you know, similar, like you get a car and then you start seeing that car everywhere. Yeah. Like when you first get it, it's because you just know, because it's like your brain is set to notice it now, almost So you could kind of do that to yourself, probably. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure over time, you know, just by continuously keeping a certain idea in your brain enough, and like really you gotta like feel, like they say, it's like believing like in the emotion of it, like what it would be like to really be there, like really fully try to, what would it be like? What would the temperature in the air, like get as detailed as you can, because it starts to like bury it deeper into your brain. So then you start seeing the opportunity, almost like you start to see the thing that you need to get to the next thing, and then you see the next thing, and you see the next thing, like but it's like you got to create that path, like almost like a GPS. You got to get it in your head, and then you can just start walking. You know what I'm saying? And once you do, the steps will start showing up. You know what I'm saying? And you'll start putting the pieces together. But we talked about that too. I think it's like, yo, you gotta go. Like, you gotta find out that we were talking about.
First step.
Yeah, you gotta get into it. And even if it's a thing that doesn't last, you gotta get into something. You know, some people, that's their thing right now. They're not even doing anything. Yeah. At this point, you shouldn't be thinking about what you should be doing. You should just be doing something. Like, and that's the problem. Because if you don't get into the habit of doing, no matter how long you wait, you'll never be doing. Yeah. That's the thing about it.
Yeah.
Like it's like what's the phrase I heard somebody say sometime, like doing anything is more than nothing. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't have to, but it could be any. It does literally anything is more than nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything at all. One step is more than no steps. Like it's that simple. And when you can start breaking that down, like we were talking about the other night, like yo, you got to really have plans. That's the real problem with a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's no sequence of events that you've plotted. You're telling yourself you do, but where is it written down at? And what is the time frame you're giving yourself? And what are you doing to actually make those things happen? Like, that's when it starts to become a lot more real, because now you're giving yourself a plot. You know what I'm saying? You're giving yourself instructions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now that doesn't have to be such a big thing anymore. It doesn't have to be this giant accomplishment of, you know, the end goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, the end goal is gonna come, but there's gonna be smaller victories in between.
Milestones.
You know what I mean? And you're not gonna get them if you're not doing nothing. You know, you gotta be putting that time in, and once you do, it kind of, like you were saying, I was saying, I guess, it'll just find you. You know, that's what we doing. The more we do these episodes, I'm sure we'll find more subjects, more things, more ways to make this a little bit more exciting. We still got to get that right, with the MIDI controller. Oh yeah. And try to get some sound effects, man.
Some sounds in here.
You know what I mean? Because we could even take some of the stuff from this. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these different episodes. That's what. Yeah. I'm sorry. We plotting as we doing the podcast. You know what I'm saying? In between, we doing things as well.
Build with us.
You know what I'm saying? Where are we at on time, man? I know we got.
We got time, man. We got time, man.
All right,
you know.
Well, shit,
it's only sleep we're cutting into.
It's only sleep we're cutting into. I feel you, you know, and you know that's the thing you got to lose out on.
Yeah, man. Fuck it.
When you want things, we know that from the past. You know what I'm saying? Performing. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Early on, that was definitely a thing. You know what I'm saying?
We'd be up till fucking 3, 4 in the morning, and then having to get up at 7.
Right.
Trying to get to work at 8.
Be hyped up from the night because you just performed and you stayed, and then when you leave, you're not ready to sleep yet, so you go and you kick it for like another hour. Yeah, that was not always a smart idea. But
then again, and it was about like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was a different time. We was a lot younger.
My body's different now.
Yeah. You know, you got to be a little bit smarter about these things. You know, we was just doing things because we was just like fuck it. But now it's like the same thing applies. You know what I'm saying, in terms of like the work you need to put in.
Indeed.
But now you just got to be more strategic. You got to have these things plotted out, like how we're trying to do. Like, okay, this day of the week or some day of the week, and then the episode's coming out on Sunday. And then when I do this thing, it's gonna be this, and then it's gonna do this. It's got to be like we were plotted and planned, because if not, it'll just be
a clusterfuck.
Yeah, which we know a lot about from again.
Hey,
these are all lessons that we were talking about. Lessons. These are things from our past. We remember like crashes. You know what I'm saying? Computers going down, and you know what I'm saying, or a hard drive being going missing, or something. You know what I'm saying, where we had to start over again. You know what I mean? And it was what it was. You know what I mean? Like, you don't lose sleep over that, because it's like, well, that's the drive. Like, you gotta create anyways, right? You're gonna create anyways. So what are you worried about that one thing that maybe wasn't done or didn't come out because you lost it or whatever? It's like, maybe I'll do something that's better than that. Like,
indeed, next time. It's always a next time. Yeah, you live to fight another day.
But we gotta, just put that time in. That's where we at right now. Especially again, like, I'm gonna keep talking about it. This project, man. I haven't gone. My mom hit me up. I gotta go see her, man. She said she got what could be potentially the cover art for the project. So that should be potentially done. You know what I mean? Soon. Like I said, this go around, I want to try my best. You know what I'm saying? Inevitably, there are gonna be some hiccups and some things. It's just the way things go. But I would definitely like to have things a little bit more strategized. You know what I'm saying? This time. And have some things plotted, ready to go. That way, it's like we were talking about. It seems a little bit more professional in a way. You know, where it's like, okay, there's a music video, then there's a a shirt or something that goes along with it that's coming out and dropping the same day, and then there's this coming out too, and then there's a podcast the next week. Like that type of stuff is where it's like, okay, yeah, now I can start figuring out where I can monetize the best. You know what I'm saying? By monitoring what's really working. You know what I'm saying? Where are people going? You know what I mean? And what are people really invested in? You know, like some people may only want to see things that I do on Instagram. Some people might like the website more. Some people might like the videos. Some people like, they may not like all of them. Some people may, but some may not. And so, you know, as we push forward in anything I think that we're doing, it's like, I know I keep trying to remind myself of that. Like, yo, don't be like mad because somebody don't like all your shit. Like, well, if they do like that, thank them for that thing that they liked. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, be willing to just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Everything's good. No thing that somebody could say about anything should be a bad thing to you. Even a bad thing should be like, word, thank you for the input. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't see it that way, you'll get worried. You'll get concerned. Like you said, you'll get like concerned. You know, you might lose some of your confidence. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
Oh, with that being said, how does one maintain that confidence to be an MC, like especially okay, for like a situation that, say you see someone or you hear someone who's just like undeniably just really good, you know what I'm saying, at the craft, and you know it, and how do you not fold under pressure? You know what I'm saying? Or be like, oh, this ain't for me. That dude's, if he's doing it like that, then, you know what I mean? Then how does one continue to persevere?
I guess that in some ways that might be something that's like, it's like an unwritten rule you got to know once you start to get into being an MC. You know what I'm saying? You might have to kind of know that this is going to happen, that you're going to be challenged, that you're going to be tested, that you're going to be, you know what I'm saying, that your will to, you know, push yourself to say something that means something and that is clever and that is, you know what I'm saying, all these things, like you've got to be willing to fight against that, you know what I'm saying, because it is going to be hard. I mean, we've all had those moments. I've plenty of times been, especially early on, you know what I'm saying, for sure, and still to this day 100% when I hear again the greats that we bring up all the time, you know, any of these guys, if I hear anything, I'm literally like, well, maybe I'll keep rapping. I don't know. Maybe I might put it down for a while. Like, but it does. Like at this point, I'm thinking that every time I'm writing, I'm against something bigger than just people rapping. You know what I'm saying? I'm up against what are people gonna think of me when I'm not here anymore. That has to be like something. You have to figure out something that drives you, that makes you feel like there's a reason why I would keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because any sane person really, I feel like, doesn't really want to be a rapper. They say they do until they realize, like, you got to be able to, like, keep this up. You know, you can't just be, oh, I can rap good sometimes, or I can give you a cool song from time to time, or I like to rap. Like, no, you've got to be in love with words and how they operate and what do they do and why do they sound like this and how can I make that sound like this, and like, you've got to be that upset. I think to be a real good MC, you know, there's a lot of great rappers, but you're trying to keep your confidence as an MC. That's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be willing to, like you said, see somebody who's really great, like you said, not fold, and tell yourself it's because my power is going to be me. I'm my power. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever I've seen, whatever I think, whatever I watch, whatever I eat, whatever, I can put that in the rap, and nobody else is ever going to put that in a rap. I know it. I know for a fact, because they don't do these things that I do. And so once you put those things that you do that you know are kind of like, you use your flaw almost. Like, find the thing that you would probably almost be scared to tell somebody, like, that you like or that you're into, and somehow find a way to put it into a rap. And even if people laugh at you, be like, yeah, so what? But who else is going to say that in a rap, though? Like, that could be your thing that could just set you apart, that make people be like, yo, I fuck with him, man, because he be naming some of the dopest, like, old shit. Or he be saying some shit. He be mentioning fucking people from whatever that nobody even knows, but I heard it and I knew who it was, and that shit made me feel like. Then you get those specialty fans, you know what I'm saying? And that might be even better than having a bunch of drone fans, you know what I mean, that are just there because everybody else is there, you know what I mean? They came along to just come along for the ride, like the bandwagoners, you know. But I guess I'd say to keep your confidence as an MC, you gotta be you a lot more. Whatever that is. Yeah. Even the things you're afraid of, the things you don't like. Yeah. The more you're that, and the more you say those things, the easier it is for you to stick out, because everybody's trying to talk about things that are cool. You know, everybody's trying to be cool. It's usually the person that's not even trying to be cool that's the coolest person in the room, because they're not bothered by what cool is. They like, I like this and I do this and this is what I wear. That's it. And they're not loud with it. And even if they are, they're not, you know what I'm saying that you can't do yours. They never put nobody else down and tell somebody they can't do what they want and tell them that they're not worthy to do anything else. Like, they might act that way in their, like, as a rapper. As a rapper, you might get in a rap and be in rapper mode and say some shit that's like super braggadocious and like over the top, and it sounds like you're a pompous asshole or whatever. But it's like, yeah, but it's for entertainment in some ways too. And also, some of this is just like, you're like, we're, as an artist, I think we're taking on a lot. Like you're trying to pull emotion. You're trying to connect pop culture. You're trying to connect politics. You're trying to connect young, old, man, woman. Like, you're trying to find all this stuff from what all thought is and condense it into something that is different, that somehow is not like something that somebody else has done. That's a lot to take on, you know what I mean? And so it forces the people who want it the most to have to like go to those weird places, you know what I'm saying? And not shy away from this thing that they liked all this time, and they just didn't want to say it because they thought somebody was going to say something about it, or whatever, like concerned about what the market would think of them if they did this thing, or if they were that person instead of this person. Like, all that shit just be, that's what fucks things up. That's why we get a lot of the same stuff happening all the time, because through, like we were talking about, the social dilemma, this stuff, people are being fed so much that they don't care to do anything different. They don't, and they don't work, and they're like you said, their mind has not been fortified enough to like take on all of these compliments and all of the negative shit. They can't. That both of those can be a bad thing. You get somebody who gets too high on the horse, they can get a big head and get egotistic and get crazy and be a bad person. You could get somebody who gets really down on the bad comments and have depression and have crazy things happen that way too. So we've seen it, you know what I'm saying? That's why the president is who he is. This is the result of that. Somebody who was told too many great things about himself. Never made to believe he did anything wrong, or believed he was fucked up, or he was evil, or
damn appreciation trophies.
Yeah. That growing up under affluence, you know what I'm saying, and being, and this is in no way, shape, or form to try to like humanize him, because I'll be honest with you, there's some people I look at and I feel like he may not be a human. He could be some other kind of beast of some sort. I'm not sure what, but I don't know. I'm convinced that the more and more they talk about there's aliens and stuff, that there's a bunch of them that live here. They live amongst us. They're out in the open. They just don't tell you, because this motherfucker is weird as hell. He's so like it's so incoherent. You can't make sense of almost anything he says. He doesn't think that he says anything wrong. He backs up all of his lies. Like, it says he didn't lie. You know, it's like it's so hard to get a feel for anything that any politician is saying.
He might be AI. He might be an AI.
Who knows, man?
A social experiment where he only the algorithm makes him say that.
There's some of them. We've
seen
some of those videos, man, of like Bill Clinton and some of these other presidents, like at interviews, and like having like they'll like have footage released that years later of them, like before the interview started, them get like makeup put on their face, and like you can look at their faces and they just look like there's nothing there in them. Like it's just a blank stare into nothingness. They don't move. It doesn't even look like they're breathing. Like they're just stuck, eyes wide open, not even moving. it's like, yo, I don't know, man. These guys look like they could, like you said, they might be some androids or some shit, man, from the future, and they being used to.
I don't doubt it, man.
Who knows, man? Because it's these. Again, the internet is a crazy place, and if you're not prepared for it, especially kids like we were talking about, you should not have the access to just be looking through the internet.
Yeah, word.
You know, I'm sorry. I believe in human right to do what you want, and I believe everybody has free will and all this, but especially for children, like the things you can find on the internet by just one click, and then that shit can lead you down a rabbit hole of things.
Because it's gonna recommend for you.
It's crazy, man. And I say that because I know through experience, you know what I'm saying? I went through a period, and I've done it on multiple times, just being bored or something, and click one thing and look up a word, and then go see what that is on Wikipedia, and then go look up a video on YouTube, and then the YouTube leads me to another YouTube video, and then be on that for three hours and realize, like, wow. And some of that information I already knew probably wasn't real, wasn't true. It was probably some propaganda or some conspiracy shit or whatever, but I'm interested in that type of stuff. I don't care, but... You know, it gets deep. You know what I mean? The internet is a vast place with like no barriers. Like we were saying, there's barely any kind of regulation on any of this stuff that we're, you know, able to go and see.
Let's not fail to mention that somebody's getting paid for it. So don't think that no one's getting
your
money
energy
for this.
is being monetized.
Fucking
for
right.
sure.
They're getting filthy rich off of us being on the internet for hours at a time. Doing whatever the fuck it is we do.
Yep. These advertising companies are paying them millions and millions of dollars to make sure that their ads and their apps and whatever else are showing up while you're on your social media apps.
Yo, they said, and not to keep bringing this thing back up, but it's just...
Yo, this is the theme of this episode, because this y'all gotta watch. I know we're gonna keep saying it's like, I don't want to be sounding like we might be giving it too much shine.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. It's deeper than that though.
We utilize this shit every day.
Absolutely.
And we know people who utilize this shit every day that might not know what we know or think what we think about this thing. But they said, for the fact that you and I could open up Facebook and we won't see the same thing.
Yep.
Even though we're on the same program, we're not going to see the same threads. We can refresh it and have something different every single time because the way the algorithms work.
Yep.
It's perpetuating things that they think that you're interested in, and only you. It's
creating a thumbprint.
Yep. They're creating a profile from you.
Yep. And like I said,
it's disgusting.
We were talking about it, how again, we're talking about some stuff that people may not want to hear, or there's some kooky stuff for them or whatever. It's fine. We go down a lot of different ways, but it is what it is. Like we were saying, again, your social security number and your fucking birth certificate proves already that you're already a product. You're already being sold and traded. You're already on the market. You're already being used. So that's out the window. Now they're creating another virtual version of you that they're also going to start to use to start trading. I'm telling you, this is the game they're playing, man. And people are jumping ahead of everybody, getting onto the things before they hit. There's something that's called bit mining. You know, when people talked about Bitcoin, there was mining that people weren't talking about. There's ways to extract information from places on the internet and then use that to turn that into a system of currency. There's a company already starting it. Guess who owns it? Bill Gates. This is what they're doing, man. This is the wave. This is how currency and things are going to move. They're going to try to corral and decrease the amount of options you have for how to use and acquire things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, from their system. That's why we were talking about, as far as like, we got to get better schools. Like, nah, we have got to build schools.
We have to do it.
You know, we have got to, do what, again, even regardless of what he's done or what he may say at times and whatever else, he's not all the way there, and we know this, and that's not his fault. He's got an issue, but Kanye West, that's what he's doing with his land. You know, he is utilizing it to start to implement these things, to start to open up these ideas about orphanages and homes for the homeless and things of that nature, and trying to create a way where we can start to, collect back what we need, like as humans, you know, because the system at large is clearly not going to make things better. They have no interest in making things go in a better way, even though they're destroying everything. Yeah. Everything's crumbling beneath our feet, and all we have to do is just make some of these changes towards a better system for humanity as a whole, and it can be done.
It's not capitalism.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I mean, capitalism is a system that's been around for so long. It's like we don't know anything else. Oh, not we don't know, but we've never implemented anything else before. I'll be honest, I don't know too many of these other systems and how they. I know we all know about bartering and trading, but overall, how deeply capitalism is ingrained into it is because of how simple capitalism goes hand in hand with patriarchy, which is another system, and then that goes along with white supremacy, which goes along with colonialism, which is how
the entire matrix that we operate under needs reconstruction.
Yeah, which is going to take a long haul, and I think we know that, but we want so bad for these things to change so quickly, and things have changed a lot quicker in the last 10 years than they did in the 10 years prior to that. I think that's sort of how time is working, but you know, that's why it's important for this information age to continue to be what it is. That's why it's important for the right information to continue to be.
I also think it needs to turn into not just the information age, but the application age.
Yeah, 100%.
Well. You know what I'm saying? Start applying these things that we're learning. Me, myself included, I feel like that all the time. I see these things and I learn these things and I know. Now that I know better, I feel like I should do better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I saw that, and I saw them SIGs, man. They do it to you, man. I know it, man.
You know better, you do better, man.
But yeah, I saw what's his name? Earl Sweatshirt said something about that. Like as far as like that's something he wanted to see. He said if I could say anything I want to see change, you know, especially in the next, even just in the next year, and it can happen, is that for people to stop thinking about hoarding information. He was like, you know, all these people with all this information have all this opportunity that they could provide for people and all these things that they could do to change things. What are you doing with that information? You know, like, why don't hoard it? What does it mean to you to have all this information? What is it doing? Are you gonna take it to the grave so then more people suffer? And they could have changed. You could have changed a lot of people's lives. You could have made things work for people. You could have helped people out. You could have just put people in positions. Like, that's what the problem is. Like, we're holding on to things for some sense of like, now I got it.
That was the subplot on Black Panther.
Right.
Why are we hoarding all this? I was about to call it adamantium. What was the shit?
The vibranium.
The vibranium. Excuse me. Yeah.
Right.
Why are we hoarding this? We could be helping the whole entire world with this stuff.
Right.
You know.
And some of it is like, I understand, like we were talking, I don't know if we said this before, but about like the people like Derek Grace or like even like a Brother Ben and like some of these other people we've seen on Instagram and stuff who are doing things where they're creating systems for people to like learn about intellectual property and how to, you know, build businesses and all these things. And like we were discussing in the last episode, you know, that's the problem right now is there's some people who are like, they're kind of fed up, you know what I mean? Like they're tired, like they still helping, they still here, they still working, they still doing things. But, you know, you could tell that there's days when they just be like, man, the way they talk about things in general and people as a whole, you could see them like they're taunting people because they're like, yo, I'm tired of y'all, man. Y'all annoying as fuck, man. I could see everybody out here having every opportunity to make things right, and every time I turn around, y'all just keep finding another fucking excuse.
No, you know what I think, man? I think, and I get it. I feel like we don't want it if it's free for some reason. We don't want it if it's cheap. We want the shit that we gotta fucking go and break our backs for. You know what I mean? We just look at fucking
and some of
our spending habits.
And the breaking it back is a weird thing because it's like, why? You know, we know what that leads to, and we all know, like, again, it's like the only thing that's different is the time you may have to put in at the beginning of the transition into doing for self. You know what I'm saying? Where maybe the transition is hard, you know, from the thing you were doing to where you're going. The thing can work. It's not that it's impossible, and it's not that it won't work. It's actually probably very highly likely that it will work for you. But that transition period can be rough. You know what I'm saying? It could be bumpy. It could be a moment where you may not have something and you could be going down. You could have that could happen. But that could happen working your job by you getting injured or you whatever. So it's like the likelihood of these things are still the same no matter what you're doing, whether you're working a job or you're working trying to own a business or whatever, like, or to do whatever. You know, it's like we're all aware, I think, of how many things now are out there for people and how many things you can do. you know, especially with just on the internet, just digitally, you know. And yet I think everybody is just trying to find themselves, you know, an excuse, literally. And it's hard. It's hard to keep watching people. I can understand, like I said, people who have had information and have been trying to give it to people. Yeah. It seems like they're like, yo, what do I have to do, man? Like, I'm like, the only way that we make humanity, you know, move into a place of actually changing more than what we've done. Like, humanity in a real way hasn't really truly changed a whole lot. You know, right. we've done some things, but we haven't really done a whole like as a human
at its core.
Yeah. Humans are still doing, especially again with all the same shit we keep. Like, this is not what humans should be doing at this time.
Hell no.
We should be doing way more.
I think we regressed.
Yeah, we did.
In a sense,
we did
from the ancient, you know, ancestors and whatnot.
We did.
We've done a bit of regression, man.
We've gotten really fancy with things, but we haven't actually fundamentally really changed much of anything to advance in some like amazing way where we're in the stars again, you know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what happened, you know. The people that we know of as the ancients, they say there was even people before them, and it's because we're not humans. We something else. Yeah. All humans are some hybrid thing that's been created, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we've been manipulated with for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? And there's something, like I said, I think that might be bigger than us. There's something that's more advanced than us. That's, you know, every time I turn around, they just said, I saw something earlier today. There's a article saying that they're saying that they think that they found signs of life on Venus. It's like, oh, now conveniently, now you just know. You think that there's life there, right? Now you think there's life there? Now, right? So all this time, like, you know, shut up, man. Nobody cares no more. Like, at this point, yes, aliens are fucking real. And they're not what you think they are.
Word.
They're not these fucking green things or these gray things. They're not whatever anybody is imagining them to be. They are not that. They're nothing like that. Nothing. Like, they're way more. We're humans. We think like humans. Yeah. Whatever they are, we can't even imagine it because we don't have their brains. So we don't have, or they probably don't even have brains. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is my human brain trying to make sense of this. It can't make sense. It's impossible. There's something higher and higher is probably relative to them too, or to it. Maybe it's an it. I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. No. Like, we're so misinformed because we believe anything we're told. You know what I'm saying? We fall for every trick. We love everything. Again, our brains love to just have things to be entertained by.
Yep.
We love anything. We fucking follow anything. We love NASA. I don't know nothing about NASA though, for real, like what they really are, what they really do, and they haven't even been around forever. So that means that they were created for something. What were they created for? What are they really doing though?
Lying.
Who knows what they really?
I don't know.
I don't want to get into too many of those conversations, but I have dabbled into the flat Earth talk and the whole idea of what this could really be, so to speak.
Yeah.
And my whole argument with everybody just about space is just in general is like, has anybody ever been, or who has been? How many people have actually been? Like, who's actually been to space? Like, there's only been a handful of people that say have been. So, I mean, I'm not. These are the conversations again that people start saying, "Oh, he's kooky, man. He got problems."
No, and I'm like this: if we landed on the moon before, why are we not landing on the moon anymore?
Why are we not on the moon?
Why are we not on the moon?
Fuck going back. Why are we not? Why are there not been people living on the moon by now?
Did that shit one time and said, "Oh, yeah, we're good."
With all the advancements we've made, you mean to tell me nobody figured out how to create? And they did it. They I don't know, man. They can do it, and that's why if they wanted to, if it was real, that's what makes me believe that it's not real.
That's what I'm saying.
They're waiting for timing for things. Things are about timing, and all these things. These are incredible things. They're psychological things that they can do. They need.
Why are they fucking with our brains so much?
Because it's like again, that's why I said it's deeper than what we know. It's not this thing that we believe it to be. It's not like some evil, sinister guys behind some board desks, you know what I'm saying, who are making these changes, and it's something that you can't even explain. You can't understand. It's so deep that that you can't even understand it. It's not meant for you to understand because you don't have the brain to understand it. Yeah. Your attempts to understand it is feeble. It makes no sense because the things that are going on are like people have tapped onto it, touched onto it. They talk about bloodlines and things of that nature, but it could be deeper than that, man. Mm-hmm. You know, like, again, you don't know until you know a lot of these things that we're hoping that we understand. And the truth of the matter is that I don't know much about much. I think I know. That's what keeps me on my toes.
I know that.
I think I know, but I really, truly do not know. And I don't ever want to be somebody who says they know, because I feel like once you say you know, something bad's about to happen.
Yeah.
Word. I don't know. I don't really know much of anything about anything. Yeah. I just try, like I said, I feel like the more we all get into a habit of trying to just do things, and as you go, you pick up on things, it's better than trying to overthink things and say that and trying to figure it out, like analyzing everything all the time. Like, that's never going to be your out to get to the place you want to go to when you just sit and try to, but I know about this guy and this thing, and I know about how this works. And I know it's like, yeah, but how many things have you done? Well, wait till I got to know this next thing, and then I'm going to do something. And it's like, cool. The whole time, those guys you're talking about are doing things. Yeah. They're actually making things happen. And that's the only thing that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like as humans, doing things is the only thing that makes you know, this is real. Oh, shit. Fuck, I just hit. That was me. I did that. Oh, shit, that was crazy. Like, otherwise, you'd just be sitting in endless nothingness and nothing would happen. But that's why you got to be doing something. Like, yeah. It's not even important what it really is, honestly. I mean, hopefully it's something good. I would hope that people are doing good things.
Yeah, do good things.
But you know, that's what I would encourage. Yeah. But
do something.
Yeah, definitely.
Word.
Get up.
Do it a lot.
And act out something.
Yeah. Yeah. And try to make money off it.
Yeah, for sure. Monetize that thing. Whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because it can happen. Yeah. Like, you don't have to be whatever the cool thing is. You might be able to find a niche for yourself where you can do this thing that nobody else does, or you just do that thing really, really good. There might be somebody else who's trying to do it or who does it similar to you, but the way you do it is just so much better because you're so much more detailed. You're way more focused. You put out more of it more often. You know, you service the customer more professionally or something. You know,
whatever. You know,
something you do
that shit.
You do it better. Yeah. But we've been talking for a minute, man. I think we could wrap it up. We talked about a whole lot of social dilemma. Yeah, man. But
the dilemma, the fucking human dilemma.
The human dilemma. Yeah, that's more like it, right? Shit. Yeah, man. So this has been episode 303. I don't know. The title of this. Oh shit. I think I want to go. Well, we've been talking about social. I don't want to call it social. I'll name it after this. Y'all know what it is when the name comes up. That's fine. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. But if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Werds Illah YouTube channel. Also, look up the Werds Illah Podcast on Spotify. Yep. It's also on Pocket Cast. Yep. Anywhere that you're listening to it from. I hope that you follow or subscribe, whichever they do on that platform. Appreciate y'all time. You know what it is. We're coming back again. More episodes. I got another guest before the month is out. And it's still going to be me and the homie DeBaker every week.
You know it.
So every Sunday, y'all just be ready. We're going to keep this moving, man. It's the Werds Illah Podcast. And I know we need sound effects.
Outro.
Outro. We out of here, y'all.
Peace.